Alright, what's up guys? New deck profile today for Zombie World. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me non-stop for this deck profile on non-Zombie World videos even. But yeah, I'm very excited about this Master Rule 5. There's also a new ban list. A few of the dangers got hit, which isn't a very good thing for us. But also, even more troublesome, Instant Fusion got hit, and I loved Instant Fusion in Zombie World. And unfortunately, it did get hit. Incredibly frustrating. I love being able to go into Thousand Eyes, take a monster, go into Anima, take another monster. It used to be really cool, but it's whatever, man. We're in Master Rule 5. All new things to do. A lot of other decks got hit way more seriously than our side cards got hit and their main cards got hit. So we're good. But definitely Zombie World, incredibly good. Let's get started. Play 2 copies of Doom King, Goat King. He's insane. He just by now you know what he does. Whenever your opponent, or whenever a zombie effect is activated, you can either banish a card or negate that activation. So already a good effect, and then of course it does come back during every standby phase, which is inevitable. I love this card. It just keeps coming back. Let your opponent destroy it; it'll just come back anyway. It doesn't matter. 2 copies of Yugioh Bulan, another great card. You summon it by discarding a zombie, so you put zombies in your graveyard. On top of that, it can quick effect special summon a monster from your opponent's graveyard, which is phenomenal since it's a quick effect. Sometimes they'll, like Monster Reborn, target a monster in graveyard. Nope. Just take it with Yugioh Bulan. It's great. Then we've got 2 copies of Necromancy. I dropped it down to 2. I used to play 3. Now we play 2. It's very useful for what it is. You just don't want to see too many in your hand, because how many Zombie Worlds are you going to activate in one turn? So 2 copies of that. 2 copies of Glow Up Bloom. Another beautiful card. Basically, it locks you into special summoning only zombies, but when this card hits the graveyard, you banish it immediately, and then special summon level 5 or higher zombie if you have Zombie World on the field. And if you don't, you get to just add that level 5 or higher zombie. But both effects are decent. Most of the time, you do want a special summon. Come on, what are we here for? Then we've got 3 copies of Shiranui Solitaire. Shiranui Solitaire, you basically tribute. You get to special summon a tuner zombie monster with 0 defense. So you'll either special summon the Glow Up Bloom, which almost never happens. Almost never happens. I mean, unless you're really in a dire situation, you might special summon the Glow Up Bloom. But most of the time, you'll be summoning Unizombie, who basically lets you discard a card from your hand, then change a level, increase a level by 1, or it lets you send from deck to grave a zombie to increase the level on the field by 1, and then for the rest of the turn, only zombies can attack. But that doesn't matter because we have Zombie World, so all monsters on our side of the field are going to be zombies anyway. So yeah, we play 3 copies of that. Definitely one of the cards you can't let that get hand trapped. Then we play 2 copies of Mizuki. We are playing the Danger, so we do play Mizukis. We want to get this in grave. We want to get free summons. We got to get them. We play 1 copy of Gozuki. He just he does some graveyard setup on normal summon, but your main normal summon is Unizombie, so you don't want to play too many Gozukis. Then we play, for the Dangers, 1 copy of Danger Nessie, because that's all they'll let us play. 3 copies of Danger Mothman, because Danger Mothman is additionally good. The problem with playing like Bigfoot and stuff is because most of the time you want to go first with Zombie World. You don't want to play Bigfoot and Thunderbird and stuff like that. The reason you don't want to play that stuff is because unless you have some sort of going second build, which is fine, because this deck has access to Super Poly in one of the best ways. You can build this deck to go second, but if you built this deck to go first, you don't want to activate like Bigfoot and then it gets selected and you can't pop anything. But this, even if this card is the card to get selected, its effect when it does get selected and sent to the grave, or discarded basically, is to draw a card and discard a card, which can help you immensely because it can put, again, zombies in the graveyard, which is your entire point here. So definitely Mothman. 1 Tsuchinoko. It's basically a free summon no matter what. It's great. Let me move those just so we can restart here. 1 copy of Jackalope, because again, that's all they'll let us play. And for our hand traps here, play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. This is the best hand trap that you could possibly play in Zombie World. Mainly because it's a zombie itself, so you can special summon it from the graveyard. It's a tuner. Like, it's got so many different uses. You could summon it off of Needle Fiber if you really wanted to. It's got so many amazing uses, but One of the craziest combos with this is you have Doom King on field, you ash one of their cards, and then you just banish one of their monsters. It's great. It's like effective. Then we play one copy of Jet Synchron. A lot of I actually really like this card quite generally because sometimes you discard it off of a danger or you summon it off of the what's it called, Needle Fiber. But this card's actually really good because if you put it in grave, you can additionally discard cards from your hand. Not really discard, but send a card from your hand, the special summon it back, and go into more and more link plays. But it's actually, I found that it's actually pretty good to keep, even along with the Glow Up Bloom. I actually like having this as an option off of Needle Fiber. Then we play one copy of Destruction, Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. This card is like basically going to be in every deck as far as I'm concerned until it gets hit on the ban list because it's just a really, really good card. It locks your opponent out of their extra deck. Your board can't get super polyed. Like, you just put this on into any dark monster and you basically have a it's like a Morphage Goliath in a spell and trap card zone. Stop your opponent from playing anything. It's insane, and it's either it's either it gets hit or we keep playing it. Then we play 3 copies of Zombie World. You can't play any less than 3 copies of Zombie World because obviously it's an incredibly good card and it changes everything to zombies. It's frustrating for Salamangreat players, and I hate Salamangreat, so it's great. 1 copy of Terraforming. 1 copy of 1-for-1. Again, 1-for-1 has even more options now because we can summon the Jet Synchron, we can summon the Glow Up Bloom, a variety of cards that we can summon. 1 Foolish Burial because it's too generic. Come on, guys. 2 Super Polys. A lot of you guys were actually got to me. You convinced me. I should play less Super Polys just because Verte Anaconda basically searches the Super Poly anyway. So what's the point of me playing 3? And sometimes it really is a brick. Sometimes going first, you can set it, but it's a little frustrating sometimes drawing multiples of this when you really want to be drawing more of your zombies and dangers and stuff like that. Then we play 3 copies of Called by the Grave because this is incredibly important. It's incredibly important that your Zombie has a chance to go off. The only problem that I've always had with Called by the Grave and why I've liked the Instant Fusion and the Millennium Eyes in the past is because the Instant Fusion puts a monster on board and it got you basically what Called by the Grave does. And on top of the Instant Fusion, this is a quick play spell. So if you set it, you can't activate it that turn. And if you have dangers and you're playing dangers, sometimes this card will actually end up getting discarded, and then you basically can't even use the effects. And that's a little bit frustrating sometimes. So you always go for the Unizombie play first, and then you have the Call by the Grave. But then we play 3 copies of Rivalry of the Warlords. One of the most broken cards in zombies. I like the control build a lot better. I think Rivalry is just too crazy not to play. We do play a lot of non-zombies, but remember, guys, you choose when to activate your cards, not your opponent. So just make sure this is the last card you activate. Go through all of your effects and then activate the Rivalry of the Warlords. Because I've seen a lot of people in the comments you play a lot of non-zombies. How are you going to summon them? It's like, listen, you went first. You choose when to activate this, not your opponent. But yeah, definitely an incredible card for that. Now we move on to the extra deck. Play 1 copy of Linkuriboh. This is basically, for your Link 1s, whatever. Relinquished Anima. Kidnaps your opponent's monster. Listen, there's only so many zones they can summon it into. Sometimes you could bait out an Appaloosa. This card's great. Appaloosa points forward. Borrelsword Dragon points forward. A lot of these incredible Link 4s actually point forward. So you just summon this right on their doorstep and you link your level 1 monster away, summon this right in front of Appaloosa, and then basically bait a free negate. It's terrific. You can't complain. Then we've got 1 Crystron Needle Fiber. This is an incredible enabler in the deck because it puts a lot of... it basically can throw out a Glow Up Bloom onto your field. It could throw up that Dragon Buster thing if you really wanted to. The Jet Synchron. You could put out Ash. This is like a free summon no matter what. It's great. Predaplant Verte Anaconda. Super Poly out of nowhere. Union Carrier. This is what you use to equip the Buster Dragon to one of your Dark Monsters and lock your opponent out of the extra deck. And sometimes you lock them out of the extra deck and then you activate Rivalry, and then what are you going to do? You're not going to do anything. Then we play one Avenged Savior. This is like your going second Zombie Link 2. We play the Vampire Sucker. This is just a very good card. It gets you a free draw if you need to. You can special summon a monster from your opponent's graveyard. Also, it has an effect that allows you to tribute your opponent's monsters as if they were your own, but you have to target them. That's the only weakness, but who cares if you have to target them? When you contribute summon a Doom King using your opponent's monsters. Then we play one Yugioh. It's a Link 4 zombie, and it's a floodgate on the field. It's great because it negates any effect that your opponent activates in the banish pile. On top of that, if your opponent if a card is summoned from the graveyard or a card is activated in the graveyard, you can target one face-up card on the field, just negate its effects. I think it's no face-up monster and make its attack 0, but very useful nonetheless. Then we play some synchros. We play Formula Synchro for the Needle Fiber. This one you have to be careful with because this can miss timing, so you can't your opponent activates something and then you respond with Needle Fiber, and then because the draw effect of Formula Synchron will miss its timing, so you have to activate Formula Synchron at a time where your opponent isn't activating anything at all. But yeah, that, and then we play one TG Wonder Magician. This is basically when this is summoned off of the Crystron Needle Fiber, it basically pops a card on summon. And both of these cards let you synchro summon during your opponent's turn if you needed to. We play one copy of Red Eyes Zombie Necro Dragon. I have a lot more space in the extra deck, so why not? I threw this in there. It's pretty good. Zombie Necro Dragon. It's good for kind of closing out games, going second, etc. Then we play the Super Poly Targets. We play two Dragon Necro Nether Soul Dragon. Basically, this is your Super Poly target for everything because, incredibly enough, Zombie World turns everything into zombies, and this card is two zombies, so really good for that. Then we play one Starving Venom because there are a lot of dark decks, and a lot of your cards are dark. So sometimes you can close out a game by super polying real quick. And then we play one Diplexer Chimera because if you haven't realized already, I can't stand Salamangrates. So this is just another way to easily beat them. But that's it. That is everything. I'm pretty thrilled with the deck overall. Yeah, a few pieces got hit, but there's still a lot you can do with the deck. It's still very, very useful. So thank you for watching, and enjoy your day, guys.